Right. Hi Alberto. Hi guys. So should we go ahead and start? Okay, we're gonna kickstart the webinar. So again, welcome to today's webinar. It's how to build real life career skills. We're gonna be talking about the perfect mindset that needs to be adopted and some tactics, some practical tactics that we will go through together in order to kind of see what kind of career skills would be or would fit today's industries and today's fast changing industries. So we're going to start with, if my clicker decides to click, we're going to start with a short introduction on Growth Tribe and myself. So if you don't know us, we're Growth Tribe, and we are a growth academy, and we teach growth courses, data courses, and UX courses. We've trained around 16,000 alumni from different companies like Facebook, Google, Philips, Duolingo, and the rest. So to tell you also a little bit about myself, my name is Alain, and I'm one of the growth marketing trainers and coaches here at Growth Tribe. I have around 8 years of experience in the digital marketing field. Started with social media, then moved to a broader or a wider perspective on digital marketing, where I learned email marketing, customer support, and performance marketing. And I have been training and coaching at Growth Tribe for the past couple of years almost. So let me tell you about the reason why we love training and we love coaching. Basically, because nowadays there is a fast technological change happening. So we need to bridge the gap between all the technological, the new technologies that are emerging nowadays and the average skills for individuals like myself and yourself. So, for example, we've got machine learning, we've got nowadays blockchains, NFTs, data visualization, experiment design, so many different skills that we feel like we need to learn in order to keep up with what's happening in the digital world. So make sure that you think and figure out what are the skills that you want to improve, and we're going to go through some of them together today. Now, a really important stat that I wanted to share with you to start with is the fact that the fastest companies, companies with the fast experiments are the ones who are winning nowadays. So the losers are the ones that are not experimenting on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and are just relying on the old and traditional marketing ways of promoting and advertising. So in the last 15 years, 52% of the Fortune 500 companies have disappeared. And they disappeared because they were not able to keep up with the fast changes and the developments and the technological developments that have been happening in the past years. The winners and the world's most innovative and fast growing businesses are the ones who are running thousands and thousands of experiments annually, like Google, like Facebook, like Netflix, Amazon. They are really, they do not stop experimenting day after another. So what is the actual mindset that we need to adopt? First of all, to be able to experiment, we need to be data driven. It's not like we wake up one day and decide that, oh, okay, that's a great idea, and I'm gonna go and go ahead and experiment with it. No, we need to go ahead and take a look at our previous data, take a look at public statistics, benchmarks, updates that are happening in the industry to be able to figure out what we need to experiment with later on. Also, part of the mindset is the way growth teams work nowadays. And this is brilliantly highlighted in one of my favorite books called Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis. I think it's in chapter 2 where he talks about how to build growth teams and the difference between growth teams. And he gives brilliant examples on this. But the most important part to take from here is the fact that growth teams now are individuals from different departments who share their perspectives, different perspectives and different expertise. They use them together, they put all the effort together, and they come up with the best experiments that are data-driven and that have skills from different departments. And talking about skills, usually a growth marketer is what we call a T-shaped marketer. And what a T-shaped marketer is a person or an individual who knows a lot about a little. So for example, your core function over here, and a little about the rest of the lot. So in the digital marketing world, for example, if you take me as an example, I am a social media expert and and I love email marketing. Plus, I know performance marketing. So these are my core functions. However, I know a little about the rest of the lot. So I know a little about video editing. I know a little about Photoshop design, for example. I know a little about landing page optimization and experimentation. So knowing a little about a lot will definitely help you better align with the stakeholders in the growth team, because you would have an idea of what the whole team is working towards. So where do we actually start? As we said, we need to start with the mindset, and we went through a couple of examples on what kind of mindset we need to adopt. But the most important thing is to start with the mindset and move up the pyramid. Next, we will check some methods, and this is why we love rapid experimentation. Rapid experimentation is also part of the mindset itself. Why? Because you need to test fast and fix later. By testing fast, you will get the results of that experiment fast, and you will be able to learn from it much faster. Then we've got the people. We talked about T-shaped marketers, the people in your organization. You need to keep on investing in them. And of course, if you are one of the growth teams or one of the people in the organization, then it's really important as well to know what kind of skills you need to improve in order to invest in yourself and in order to learn the tactics to be able to run the best experiments and get the best results from them at the end of the day. So I want to introduce you, to continue talking about the mindset, I want to introduce you to Mr. Takeru Kobayashi, who is the world champion of a hot dog eating competition. So my colleague Tariq tells the story much better than I do. But to briefly tell you about the story, how was he able to become a champion? We're looking at a skinny guy who was able to break the record and eat 50 hot dogs in less than 10 minutes. And if we look at the competition that he had next to him, I mean, look at these guys. This guy doesn't just look like he can eat more hot dogs than Kobayashi. He looks like he can eat Kobayashi himself. So how was Takeru Kobayashi able to hack this competition and break the record of the most hot dogs eaten in less than 10 minutes? He actually hacked the competition by eating the hot dogs alone and by dipping the buns into some water so it becomes easier to digest. And that was it. He figured out that this was kind of a playbook or a legal thing that he could do in the competition, and he applied those tactics to perfection and became the world champion. And look at these guys, like looking at him, standing next to him and looking at him and being totally surprised, and his mother, of course, being super proud because he was able to adopt that mindset and apply the right tactics in order to win, to get that win. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking to get those wins, one experiment after the other. So if you're growing a company today, you better learn to eat hot dogs fast. Going back to rapid experimentation, test fast and fix later. Eat those hot dogs fast, learn what you need to learn from them, and then move forward. One of my favorite quotes from Mr. Jeff Bezos over here, I know he might not be super popular nowadays, especially in the Netherlands. Some of you might be ready to throw some eggs on him when he passes under the bridge. However, he's still a successful man, and he was able to drive Amazon into that success by the amount of experiments that they do per year, per month, per week, and per day. So he says also that being wrong might hurt you a bit, but being slow will kill you. So we need to, again, make sure that we bridge the gap between those skills that are emerging day after day and the average skills that we have as individuals. We need to keep on upskilling and reskilling, learning new things, and improving the things that we learn as well, that we know. So moving on from the mindset itself to some tactics, some practical tactics that I want to share with you here today. Let's take a look first at the most important part of the fundamentals when it comes to growth marketing. And that's something that we teach in probably every growth course that we have. It's the customer journey. So I'm going to briefly take us through the journey itself and briefly explain what each step means. So let's say I have a business, and of course I have a website for that business, and I'm looking to get customers and to acquire more customers for my business. The first thing that I have to think about is, how do I get people to come to my website? How do I get users to become aware of what I have to offer and what makes me special as a business? And this is when they hit the awareness channel. So once they come to my website, they become aware of what I have to offer and what makes me special. So as a business, so this is the awareness stage of the funnel. Next, we've got the acquisition stage. And please remember that this is a journey. So it's one logical step after the other. What do I want my users or the users who land on my website to do after they've landed on my website? I want to acquire their information. So it could be that I need them to sign up to my newsletter, read a piece of information, visit a product page. Whatever the next logical step that I need them to do, this is when they become acquired. Maybe click on a call to action button and so on. Next, we've got activation, and this is when the user becomes activated and they learn what is the benefit of working with us, buying our service, buying our product, or just what we have to offer. So this is where the wow moment comes in place. The wow moment is when the user sees the value and the benefit of working with you. And this is when they hit the activation stage of the funnel. It could be when they learn about a specific skill that we have to offer, or when they see a specific video that explains a demo on the service or the product itself. Next, we've got retention. So how many times do they come back to use our service daily, weekly, monthly, or how many times do they come back to buy some of our products if I'm an e-commerce website, or if I have an e-commerce website or not. Next, we've got referrals, and how many of my existing customers help me acquire new users by talking about how awesome my service or product is. So it's virality. And here, of course, the referral stage of the funnel helps with the awareness stage of the funnel by acquiring or by making new users aware of what I have to offer. And the revenue stage, of course, is when potential customers become customers and when they complete the transaction, basically. So the first two stages of the funnel are where we focus most of our digital marketing activities. So this is where we use the digital marketing toolkit, which includes pay-per-click advertising, social media marketing, influencer marketing, email marketing, to help people become aware and to help people also read more information of what we have to offer. However, growth teams, they work at every single stage of the pirate funnel. And this is where we need to zoom in a little bit and see some of the tactics that will help us improve every stage of the funnel. So we're going to start with an example to tell you a little bit about how experimentation can help us with the customer journey itself, and how it can also help us improve some of those stages. This is one of our favorite use cases here at Growth Tribe. You've probably heard it before. So either in one of our previous webinars, or if you've attended one of our courses as well. So this is Mr. Green. Mr. Green are a company in the Netherlands that lease electric cars. And we had a participant who's an alumnus from one of our courses. He was called Max, and he wanted to improve the user experience on the website so he can help users better or quickly be able to rent their cars. So this was their main website or their main homepage. And of course, we see that it has a nice design. There's a nice picture in the background, but there is a little bit too much information on there. So for me as a new user who just landed on their website, I can get a little bit distracted by not knowing where they want me to click start, like when I first land, I don't really know where they want me to click because there are 3 different call to action buttons. There are a couple of distracting buttons on the top and at the bottom of the page. So, but let's say I do click on the right call to action button, which is Snelle Offerte, and then I land on this page, and then it adds a little bit more friction. And after that, they will require me to fill in a form. And then maybe 2 weeks after that, I will get a call from the company or from a salesperson at the company and get my card delivered. So the process is a bit too long. And what Max wanted to do was experiment and come up with ideas that will shorten this process and make it much quicker and much easier for users or for potential customers to be able to rent the cars that they want. So he came up with some ideas, and he ran some of those ideas as experiments. He ran experiment number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they did not yield him the results that he wanted until he reached idea number 6 for experiment number 6. And the idea for that experiment was the fact that Max thought to himself, what if we create a fully online self-service model, which means that the potential customers will be able to customize everything they want in the car, in their dream car, and then just submit what they need, and after that get the car delivered in a couple of days. So it would reduce the friction and make it much easier for Mr. Green and for the potential customer to get the car that they want. But in order to do that, Max needed a new customer journey, a new onboarding, new target audience, and new key resources. So needing all those 4 things, or all those things to actually apply that idea or that experiment, he went to his boss and said, this is what I need. Now imagine that that boss seeing all those requirements and no proof that they will actually work. They will probably not agree on the idea. So what happened after that is that Max decided to take matters into his own hand and de-risk the experiment without taking the risk of applying everything on the main website and on the main business and maybe not working. So he thought, let me create my own landing page, drive traffic to it via Facebook ads. He created his own landing page using a tool called Unbounce that helps you create landing pages for free, at least with their free version. Then he drove traffic to it via Facebook ads. Then by collecting the signups or the emails from those people who landed on that landing page, he collected those emails via MailChimp, which is an email marketing tool. And then he created a form that helped potential customers customize their own cars, what they wanted from it, on Typeform. And he sent them that form via MailChimp, which is the email marketing tool. So it was a simple process, needed 4 tools. Max was able to create all the needed parts from them without coding because they are low-code tools, and was able to do that by himself. And this is the new landing page that he created. Now, maybe it's a little bit different from the landing page that we saw at first with the main homepage. So this is not, this landing page will not win any designer's award. So it's not the best design in the world. However, that's okay because it's conversion centric. It's very clear what Max needed those users to do once they've landed on that landing page. There was a clear logo that defined what the business was. There was a clear call to action. There was a clear headline first, and then there was a clear call to action button of filling in the form, and then after that submitting the information. So there was nothing else to do actually, which made it much easier for people not to be distracted from the one conversion goal and go ahead and submit their information. And once he did that, this was the form that he sent them via MailChimp, which is the email marketing tool. So potential customers received that form, customized it exactly what they needed from the car, and then Mr. Green would automatically receive that information via Typeform, and then be able to deliver the car much faster to everyone who submits those forms. So early signals of experiment number 6 is that it only took 2 days to implement. by using those low-code tools that Max used. It took one person to actually apply all those tactics, and it did not cost him a lot to actually de-risk the experiment, about 130 euros. And by the end of the first day, he got his first hard conversion, which was a sale. So I want to ask you though, do you think one day is enough to validate the experiment? I don't think so. The thing here is that Max needed at least a couple of weeks to trust the data that he was collecting and trust the fact that this experiment actually worked. So after 2 weeks of collecting that data and proving that this experiment worked, he went again to his boss and told them, okay, now I've got proof. The data proves that my idea works. So let's try and implement it on the main website, on the main business website. And they did, and this is how it looks right now. The new website with the new self-onboarding system, where it actually got them an 800% increase in leads, and Max got promoted. So congratulations to Max, who is head of growth at Mr. Green. So this is an idea or a use case of how we can de-risk ideas and de-risk experiments and be able to collect real life and valuable data from them in order to get the results that we need. So other tactics to de-risk, so it's not just only about an online self-service model, for example, at the awareness stage or at the revenue stage. We also have what we call the 5-second test. And the 5-second test emerged because of the attention span that is decreasing for all of us nowadays. And as an example, I think the NBA, that was in 2017, the NBA was considering a rule change in shortening the time of a game, the duration of the game. Why? Because they realized that people weren't watching the full game anymore. Thankfully, they did not do that. However, it's something to consider for sure. Now, why is it called the 5-second test? Because based on a study by the Nielsen Norman Group, any user who lands on a website will give you or will give that website only 5 seconds to decide if they're going to stay on that website or if they're going to bounce. And how do they decide if they're going to stay on the website or if they're going to leave? If the website, once they land, answers those 2 questions that we see on the screen right now, then the website will pass the 5-second test and the user will stay longer on the homepage. Now, the first question that you need to answer, that your homepage needs to answer, is what does this website do or offer? So as a user landing on the page, I need to know in less than 5 seconds, what does this website do or offer? And what makes it special as well? In order to do that, you have to optimize your homepage, optimize your landing page above the fold, and make sure that your headline and your above the fold design meets the 5-second test. So I gave you guys a sneak peek right now, but we're gonna try a test together right now. So I want you to please reply in the chat. I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds to see a landing page. And please try and answer me if you can figure out what does this website do or offer and what makes them special. So I'm gonna show you that landing page again in 3, 2, 1, go. So can you guys tell me in the chat, what does this website do or offer and what makes it special? Just by the 5 seconds that I gave you, that we were able to check that landing page on. It's a pretty tough one with 5 seconds. It looked like it was selling a phone, a mobile phone connected to the cloud service. Alberto got it in less than 5 seconds. A different kind of approach to smartphones. That's a good one. Offer the mobile service in simple and catching way. So you guys kind of got it. It's definitely related to a mobile phone because it was obvious that it had something to do with a mobile phone. But when we ran a 5-second test for it the first time, it came back as a fail. A lot of people did not figure out exactly what this website does or offer and what makes it special. However, I'm gonna tell you. First of all, we look at the headline. It's everything to gain. Okay, it's perfect. Yes, everything to gain. I want to gain everything, but what is everything? It's kind of confusing. In 5 seconds, I will not be able to figure that out. But to tell you a bit about what this website offers, they offer a smartphone. However, the thing that makes it special is that it's an Android phone that has access to the cloud. So the storage is actually in the cloud, which means that you should not run out of space when you have this phone. So instead of being a hardware, instead of the storage being a hardware connected in the phone itself, it's actually in the cloud and you will not run out of space. So these guys knew that the landing page wasn't really communicating that very well, so they wanted to optimize it. So they added a cloud in the background. They thought maybe the cloud in the background would help make things a little bit clearer. That also did not work for them. So they changed it again. They changed the hand and they changed the color of the cloud in the background. They made it blue, and then they added some kind of gray background on a white font, which made it much harder to read. So they definitely failed. And Robin, which is the name of the phone itself, went out of business. However, at that point, I was like, I want to find out how these guys emerged. Like, how did they start? Where did they get the idea from? And what made them produce Robin? So I Googled them and I saw that they had a Kickstarter campaign, which is a crowdfunding campaign, where they used this headline over here as part of their Kickstarter page. So they said Robin is the only cloud-first smartphone. It gets smarter every day and makes running out of space history. Now imagine if they had used that same headline on their main landing page on the website, on their main homepage. I think that would have definitely passed the 5-second test, because just by reading these two sentences, I was able to figure out that Robin, or this website, offers an Android phone that is called Robin. And what makes it special is that it gets smarter every day and makes running out of space history. And it definitely took me less than 5 seconds to answer those two questions. And if you check at the amount of money they were able to crowdfund from that campaign, it's almost 1.4 million US dollars, which is 272% of their main goal, which was $500,000. So we can definitely say that their headlines worked on their Kickstarter page. However, they did not apply the same thing on their landing page, unfortunately, which did not work for them. So I want to try with you another 5-second test with another landing page. All right. So let's give it a try in 3, 2, 1. So can you guys answer what this website does or offers and what makes it special? Again, in the chat, if you can, please. Pairs you with companies that you may like to purchase from. Very well, Gabrielle. That's actually a really good, it's a really good hypothesis, or you got the questions right, actually. Didn't catch it, they need bullet points. It's about retailers, experience, and comparison. No clue, you can't get anything of that. Product finder. So half of you got it, half of you didn't, which actually proves that it wasn't the best headline in the world. So looking back at it over here, I know the hearts on the right, on the top right section, maybe will make it look like a dating website. And the headline says, get the right one the first time. So also get the right what the first time. So it's not all super clear. However, some of you got it, which is absolutely great. So this website, what it does is that it pairs you with online shops based on some questions that you answer. it will give you the best option that would probably suit you. So for example, if I'm looking for a speaker phone or a Bluetooth speaker, based on some questions that I will answer, that this website will ask me, they will redirect me to the best online shop based on, for example, my budget, what type of brand I want, how big the speaker is, and so on. So we ran a 5-second test for this website, and the comprehension rate was 0% at first. No one got it from the online testers that we asked. Then we decided to change the headline and try and optimize it a little bit. And we changed it to, we help you shop better and faster online. So this maybe made things become a little bit clearer. So we wanted to test that headline again. And when we did, the comprehension rate improved a little bit. 13% of the testers got it. So we were like, okay, let's study the data that we have and try and improve that headline again, which we did. It became your online buying assistant in seconds. After that, we decided to test it again. It went from 13% to 26%. But this is when we decided to again take a look at our data. And by data, here I'm talking about the answers that the testers gave us. And this is part of what we call qualitative data or soft data. And as we can see over here, answer number 14 said, find your ideal products by looking, find the ideal products you're looking for by answering some tailored questions. And this is when we thought, you know what, this describes it perfectly. So we took that exact answer and put it in the headline, which became answer some personal questions to find your ideal product online. And you can guess it after that. The comprehension rate became 80%. A lot of people got exactly what this website does or offer and what makes it special. Now, the cool thing about this whole progress is that it only took us almost 20 minutes to get. So this is what we call an easy or a quick win. It's a very impactful experiment which improves something significantly. In this case, it's the 5-second test, and it's the headline, and it's the landing page in a very short time span and with very low effort. It didn't take us long to change those headlines, take a screenshot, run another test. It didn't take us long to study the data that we got and try and come up with better headlines for it and run another test. And this is how we got our quick win. And this is how it went from 0 to 80% at the end of it. So from 0 to 13 to 26, and finally the 80%, which was a quick win for us. So this was one type of the tests that we can run online, of the best practices and tactics that we can run online. We can test the unique selling point. We can test new products. We can test new business ideas. So there are a lot of online tools that will help you do that, and they're not expensive at all. And what you can do is run any idea that you have. For example, if you have an idea, if you want to just create an A/B test and ask testers which digital ad campaign do they prefer, you can just give them the two options, and then they will give you their answers after that. And this will help you gather more qualitative data for you to make a better informed decision in your next experiment. So briefly talking about this again, or summarizing this, this whole process, we're data driven. We run experiments to gather data, and based on this data, we run the next experiment, which will hopefully yield us better results because we keep on gathering data, and because we will keep on learning from those experiments. And we need the growth process in order to apply those experiments in the best way possible. And the growth process is a 5-step process that will start by gathering those ideas for experiments, exactly like Max from Mr. Green did. He gathered 6 ideas first. He ran the first 5, and then the 6th one was the one who got it who got him the win that he wanted. So gathering ideas, that's step number one. You do that by looking at your previous data, by looking at external data, public statistics, benchmarks, by gathering qualitative data from people, asking them questions, and so on. And then you rank those ideas based on prioritization frameworks, the pies and the brass, which we teach in our courses. However, to briefly explain this, it's basically you ranking those ideas in order to say, okay, I will allocate my resources to the idea that has the highest probability of being a success. Next, you take that idea, your priority, and you outline the experiment for it. So you design the experiment. You will put in all the details of how you will apply that experiment and what kind of execution will be over there. And of course, the step after that is to work, get the stuff done, execute the experiment. And once it's done, the most important part of this whole process is step number 5, which is studying the data. Because we test fast and we fix later in order to get that data fast and learn from it, and then go ahead and come up with better ideas later to come up or to have better results with the future experiments. So in my opinion, step number 5 is actually step number 1. If you guys remember, I said you can gather ideas by looking at your existing data, but by looking at public benchmark statistics and so on, by looking at your Google Analytics, for example. So do that by studying the data and then come up with the right ideas for that. And this is, the process doesn't end. It's one experiment after another. The wheel keeps on turning. And the most important part is that you keep on experimenting, even if you fail, because not just even if you fail, I can very safely tell you right now that you are going to fail. Some of your experiments will fail, but this is how you will learn. This is how you will be able to apply the better experiments. We've got, in order to apply that growth process in the best way possible, we have created the Grows app for that. And we do explain the growth process in maybe a clearer and more detailed view. If you go to grow.ac/grows, you get some more information on the growth process itself. And this is how the experimentation process will look on the long term for us. We will have our fails at first. We will start with some experiments. We will have 1 fail, 2 fails, 3 fails, but then we will start getting those wins. But maybe we will start getting other fails as well. The most important part is that we hang on, we keep on learning from the experiments, and at some point we will have those big wins, those wins that will give us, that will be the most impactful and will give us the best results that will help us keep on getting those wins one after the other. But the thing that we can rely on the most is the fact that if we keep on moving forward, we will have that compound growth, which reminds me of a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which talks a little bit about that mindset. If you improve 1% every day, and I think it's the chapter called The Penny Effect, you will definitely see the compound growth at the end of the day, because you will keep on learning, you will keep on improving, and you will keep on getting those wins after one win after the other. And this was the brief or the tactics that I wanted to take you guys through, and talking about how we can reskill and how we can learn skills exactly like the ones that we just went through together. At Growth Tribe, we are creating, and now we have some new on-demand courses that you can sign up for by using your STAP budget. So as we know right now, Growth Tribe or the Dutch government has released the STAP budget, or will release the STAP budget very soon. And at Growth Tribe, we are collaborating with the Dutch government, and if you are eligible, you get up to 1,000 euros to choose any course that you want to learn for free, basically. So the government will be the one funding those courses for you. All you have to do to sign up for that right now is to go to grow.ac/free and sign up. so you can learn or choose the new courses or some of the new courses that we're developing for you and learn them and take them for free using your STAP budget. So please keep that in mind. I will give you a second to go to grow.ac/free, fill in the form that you need to fill. And after that, I'll be back. I'll go have a drink of water really quickly, and then I'll be back to answer your questions. We will have a 10-minute Q&A, and I will be answering your questions in the Q&A section, please, not in the chat section. And yeah, after that, yeah, I'll just grab a quick drink of water and be right with you guys. So we will have a 10-minute Q&A in a couple of minutes. Thanks for sticking around. All right, guys. So we're gonna take some of those questions. All right. So Nick is asking, what are the 3 most important skills to have as a growth marketer? That's a very, very good question. So there's a YouTube video where on our Growth Tribe YouTube channel where I talk about the details of how to become a growth marketer and what is growth marketing. But to briefly explain this, there are some things that you need to adopt. First of all, the mindset. The mindset really has to change. For me, it took me 6 years of digital marketing to actually start learning about growth marketing. And growth marketing is all about the mindset. So it's rapid experimentation. Even though I knew how to apply a lot of the tools like email marketing, customer support, social media marketing, performance marketing, and so on, I did not have a like a broad understanding of the customer journey, where my tactics are being applied at which stage, and so on. So I would say one of the most important skills is to start with the mindset. Learn about some use cases in growth marketing. Pick up Hacking Growth, the book by Sean Ellis. It's a great book. It has many awesome use cases, and just try and visualize how you as a digital marketer or as a marketer can apply those tactics, the tactics that you know, the skills that you have in the growth marketing mindset, in the customer journey, and so on. Are there any blogs that talk about this mindset more in depth? Curious to read more about it. I honestly will tell you again to pick up the book Hacking Growth. I think it would be a perfect starting point for you to know exactly what growth marketing is about, especially with the introduction and the first 2 chapters where they talk about how to build growth teams and some of the use cases, and how Dropbox, for example, decided to create the referral program that they did, and how that made them compete with Microsoft OneDrive and Google Drive. And so that part of the mindset and that part of the experimentation mindset basically is what you need to start with. Um, could you help me with the landing page review of 5 minutes after the webinar? I wish, I'm really sorry, but we're like super packed. However, feel free to connect with us and with me on LinkedIn if you need to. If you go to grow.ac/AAA, you will land on my LinkedIn profile. So feel free to connect over there and send me some of the questions that you might have. I'll try and answer as many as I can later. Yeah, same thing with job references. I mean, I will not give you direct advice on what kind of jobs will be perfect for you, but I can give you my opinion on like the fast changing technologies nowadays and how you can keep up with the updates that are happening. So it's really important to stay up to date, to know exactly what is happening in the digital world, what is happening in the awareness channels, in social media marketing. For example, what are the feature updates that TikTok is introducing? For example, again, I think I read a couple of days ago that Apple is making your iPhones become, Apple is making iPhones become POS machines. So, for example, as a business, you don't need to buy a POS machine anymore after they roll out that update. You can just have tap two iPhones together and you will complete the pay using the NFC. So that's something as a business might be relevant for you to know. So that's why it's really important to stay up to date, know what is happening, so you can figure out if this will apply to you or if you can take advantage of the opportunities that are emerging as well.